How's it going, y'all? This is Chris, Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from my garage. I promised you guys some videos, some bike videos, but I'm not able to deliver this time because it's been pouring outside and I just cannot get these bikes outside to show you when it's like raining. So, anyway, what we're going to talk about today is some of the stuff that I've picked up this week, just some of it. I'm also going to talk to you guys about hustling the unknown and what truly is the unknown, okay? And then we're going to go over the item of the day. So let's kind of cut right to it. Let's find out, let's show you guys some of the stuff I found this week. Here, it was just part of one of my little picks and everything, but there's an actual letter to the Vice President dated August 23, 1973. And the Vice President, I guess, wrote back, and it's Spiro T. Agnew. I believe it's Eisenhower administration or something like that. So this is kind of cool. It's just a piece of history, and this is a little wrinkled little letter. That's probably worth like 10 or 20 bucks at an antique mall if it's laminated all nice and everything. So I think it's pretty cool. Let's talk about something else. Little hipster dudes, you know, I find that in my antique mall, it gets visited by a lot of little hipster guys and stuff, and they love little old school tennis shoes and members only jackets and pearl snap shirts and this and that. So here's another little hipster-ish kind of jacket. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of style. It's very member only-ish. It's got a price tag $24.29, but I paid half of that. And it's leather, yeah. So you know, it looks cool. It's got really good style and some great condition. It'll probably sell for like 50 bucks at the antique mall. Although we are kind of coming down to the season where this stuff's not really wanted anymore. But hell, I mean, for 12 bucks, why not? Let's talk about this. This right here is an old school JanSport frame backpack. Okay, you've seen this kind of stuff probably on commercials, you know, back in the day, or people like hiking up to Everest and stuff. So it's really cool. It's a piece of like outdoor history, I guess, and someone's gonna want this thing in their garage. You know, maybe next to it like a pair of old skis or ski shoes or like a bear trap or something. So this could find its way into a lodge one day up in Colorado, who knows? But it's definitely going to be for sale, and it's going to sell more than the 7 bucks that I paid for it. Really cool. Let's talk about this old little pinball game. It's not really too old, slightly vintage. Bought it for 3 bucks. It's a 3-player pinball game. It's got the most annoying subwoofer in the world under here, and I mean, yeah, it's real thin. You think like there's no way there's a subwoofer in there. There is a subwoofer in here, and it is loud as hell. So, you know, people play this stuff on top of their coffee tables and this and that. But this thing's pretty cool. I like it, but I hate that subwoofer. Talk about something else. This is one of the more interesting things that I found. I didn't find this at an antique mall or a pawn shop or anything like that. These right here, I found this actually in a pawn. Didn't find it, but some guy that was in a pawn shop went up to the front desk dude and was like, hey, I got some antiques in the car. Do you take antiques? And the pawn shop was like, oh no, we don't. But I overheard the conversation, and I went out to the parking lot with the guy. I was like, let me see what you got. And had some cash on me. But he sold me this right here. You guys see that? Take a guess what that is. Well, these are old Civil War bullets, and they still have a lot of residue on them and stuff, so who knows what the history behind this is. And your natural thought might be, well, you know, you bought something in a parking lot for some dude and he told you it was like Civil War bullets. I can kind of tell when something's pretty much real and real lead. And just to confirm my, you know, just what I was thinking, I did bring it to a gun store and everything, and they looked at it, and immediately the guy there knew it was real due to the engravings and the actual weight of it. He definitely places this in the Civil War era, and he said, don't ever clean these things because they might actually have, you know, dirt from the place that they were unearthed, or they might have bone fragments. And he specifically said bone fragments, and I was like, sweet! You know, bullets with bones, cool. So that's that. That's some stuff that I found. Let's kind of talk about hustling the unknown, because I'm bringing this up right now. It's an interesting thing to talk about, right? The unknown being like different places, you know, different items, different people, different sales avenues when you want to like sell something. And the unknown is like things that you sit there and you know that they exist, but you don't ever want to mess with them. Either you're afraid. Well, that's kind of like the way a hustler becomes a hustler, is you have to like embrace the unknown and do things that'll put you in the situations to make a lot of money, okay? This can be You know, get in front of people that you don't want to get in front of. You know, like there's an old bag lady over there. Like, I don't want to talk to the old bag lady because she's gonna bore me to death. You just never know what you're gonna find out from these people. Okay. It means also like, oh, there's a little antique show like, you know, far away town, or you know, this other place is having a bike swap meet. Oh, I don't really have the time. I really want to go, you know, lay out at the beach or something like that. You know what? Take the time to go check those things out, because you know, you're gonna find out something. Either it's gonna suck completely, or it's gonna be totally awesome, and it's gonna yield to a lot of money in your pocket over time. So when I talk about hustling the unknown, the reason why I want to talk about it now is because this weekend, here in my hometown, there is a town about an hour and a half away from here that is going to have a really, really awesome antique festival. I guess it's a thing where people from all over the world are going to come to all these farmlands and just post up with tents all their crap. And some of this crap's going to be really cool, some of it's going to be uncleaned. Some of it is, you know, these people don't want to go home with it, okay? They come from like halfway across the country and they don't want to go home with a full trailer. They want to go home with an empty trailer. So there are going to be pickers from all over there. There are going to be people clearing out their barns and sheds that are going to post up all their stuff. There are going to be other antique dealers just reselling their antiques. But I'm going to go there looking for the dirty stuff that I showed you like in the video number 4, where I had the back of my SUV open and I showed you all that dirty stuff, okay? I'm going there because everyone's talking about this thing lately in the antique kind of like mall that I'm going to, and everyone that I know that deals with like old, cool, crazy things talks about this place. So I'm going to go. This will be my first time to ever go, and I'm going to report back to you guys and document the whole thing on video. But I anticipate it to be pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to spend all the money I'm going to bring there. I don't know if I'm going to come back with anything cool. But all I know is that I'll find out something about this place. Okay, I'll either figure out this is like the hustling pick of the year and I better go to it every year, or I'm going to find out like, you know what, an hour and a half of gas back and forth, and it's totally, you know, like not my deal. Okay, I can make more money here in that hour and a half distance, and you know, I can make more money here. I'll figure out something, okay? But that is the unknown, okay? So when you hustle the unknown, you want to embrace different places. You want to embrace different items, okay? Find yourself in the women's section one day at a Goodwill, okay? Don't just stay in the men's section. And if you're a girl, find yourself in the men's section one day and take a look at some of the stuff over there. You know, embrace the unknown. Talk to different people, okay? Talk to the people that are annoying. Talk to the people that are completely silent. Case in point, when I was at the antique mall not too long ago, the lady that has a booth next to me on both sides, she's kind of annoying, okay? And she kind of has this, I don't know, I don't really like the stuff in her booth for like my kind of things, you know? But she tells me how she got some of this stuff, and she tells me a couple secrets one day. You know, I just decide, okay, you know what, I'll just talk to her, whatever. I'm going to have to eventually anyway. She tells me all these little secrets, like if you go to this one store on a Monday, there's like this color tag becomes like $1 every item. $1 every item. She was like, that's where I get all my Justin boots. And I'm like, oh my God, like Justin boots sell for like 40 bucks a piece here, 50, sometimes 60 bucks. You know, that's a total win-win if you buy it for $1. So although I didn't really capitalize on that whole Justin boot thing for $1 thing, but I went there on the day after she was telling me just to go take a look what was at this place. And they had student discounts for like 30% off. And I just still have one in my pocket. It's an old student ID. But, you know, it works. And had I not talked to this lady and just sat there and overcome my hustling the unknown kind of thing, then I would have never figured out some of this stuff. Just that one conversation with her has made me like $500 to like $1,000 in not a very short amount of time. So, you know, these are things you have to start doing, okay? Different places, different items, different people, talk to all the people, and different sales avenues, okay? Don't ever be opposed to like eBay or Craigslist to liquidate your stuff, or an antique mall. You might think, oh, it's just too much to get into, too much. No, it's not. These places are places to get rid of your stuff when you find it, because you're going to have to get rid of this stuff to make profits, okay? So don't ever dismiss anything. Embrace the unknown, okay? Screw the comfort zone, embrace the unknown. Each item that you mess with, each conversation that you have, each mistake that you make, each large profit that you make will equal large profits later, okay? So you've got to take the time and make some mistakes and get in front of people you don't want to get in front of, and go to places you don't want to go. You'll find out a lot about yourself and whether you're cut out to be a hustler or not, just with like embracing the unknown, okay? Let's talk about the item of the day. Item of the day today are just simple helmets that you can find in like any Goodwill, any thrift store. These helmets range from like bicycle helmets, motorcycle helmets, and snow helmets. Those are the 3 primary ones that make me a lot of money, so I got to show you guys how to make the money too and what I look for. Let's go through the first one, okay? When you find a bike helmets are interesting. You're paying for vents, just so you know. You pay for the amount of vents that you see on a helmet. The bigger the vents are and the more sporty and crazy it looks, okay, This is my personal helmet, but I also spent about $2 on this thing. But on the open market, this thing is worth about 50 to 70 bucks, and if you buy it brand new, it's about 90 bucks. So look at how many vents this thing has. This is a ton of vents to cool the head down. It's super streamlined. It looks just crazy, right? It's just very aerodynamic, very streamlined, tons of vents. You're paying for the vents in these things, and you're paying for weight and vents. So if you find something like this is a Bell Sweep. They make a Bell Sweep R. They make a Bell Sweep like mountain biking looking, but they all have the same amount of vents and they look crazy like this. You're looking for brands like Bell and Giro, just so you know. They make the best helmets. Let's talk about another helmet right here. This is a more like a skateboarding helmet. This is a Burn skateboarding helmet. It's a small one. It's got the tags on it, so I paid like literally nothing for this thing. I think it was like $5-6, and I could flip it for like 20 to 30. And that's what a skateboarding helmet kind of looks like. Okay. Motorcycle helmets. I don't personally like this brand right here. I bought it anyway. Motorcycle helmets, you got to do testing, okay? You got to test for the screen, make sure A, it's not scratched up too bad, and it actually goes up and down. Second thing, you want to look at the vents. Every helmet has got vents here, there. Make sure all the vents work. It's not too tattered up. You find a helmet sub 20 bucks, maybe sub 30, maybe 40 at a garage sale, and it's a brand such as Arai or Shoei, or maybe Icon, then you're looking at some pretty serious money, maybe 100 to 200 bucks, depending on the graphic scheme and everything. But yeah, typically you can't lose if you're on a motorcycle helmet sub 30 bucks, okay? Snow helmets. Snow helmets are typically what's called like 3/4. 3/4 of the head is completely covered by the helmet. Typically has these little earmuff things, and it's nice and spongy and furry inside. This is a Smith Antic Junior for a kid. You can pick these up dirt cheap at a Goodwill or something, like $2. You can sell them on eBay for about 30 to 50 bucks each one. Let's show you guys what a Giro looks like. This is a Giro kid's helmet. This one actually has vents and everything. But this is a kid's 3/4, really cool, great brand, Giro, hard shell. You know it's a ski helmet because the goggles go around here and this thing loops around the goggles, okay? To make sure that your goggles don't flying off when you have a pretty amazing wreck. And then we got the Boeris. I love this brand too. This brand makes high-end ski stuff, ski/snowboarding, downhill, like specific kind of wear. 3/4, crazy color scheme, kid's helmet, a little snap thing in the back, so when you bust ass, you don't lose everything. Yeah, great brand, Boeri and Giro. Just look for those. So the item of the day were helmets. If you're looking for a bike helmet, air vents, and stick with the brands Giro and Bell. Okay. If you're on a motorcycle kind of whim, I would stick with Arai, Icon, and Shoei. And remember that little checklist I showed you with the vents and everything like that. Snow helmets. You're looking at Boeri, Giro, and Smith. Okay, those are the best brands that I always like kind of put my hands into, but I make a lot of money coming out. So you find these at a lot of your Salvation Army's, Goodwills, places. These helmets are everywhere. So keep looking for those kind of things, and if you do like these videos, give me a thumbs up. And still working on the book. I'm almost done with the book. When it comes out, it's going to be amazing. So you love these videos, thumbs up, comments, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.